Hello YouTube family and friends. So welcome to the channel. This is Red with Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Productions, and also we do Mustang Fanatic Mechanic Edition. Things here to the channel. All things Mustangs, car shows, cruise-ins. We're mostly Mustang fanatics, and also you get Mustang Fanatic Mechanic Edition, where we solve and work on electrical problems, motor problems, check code engines, brake jobs. We do it all here. So stay tuned to the channel, and we hope you like and subscribe it. This is Red with Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Mechanics. Okay, YouTube family and friends, this is Red with Rev It Up Mustang Fanatic Mechanic Edition. Mechanic Edition. We've been down for a few days again. We had to be medicated. You know, we're disabled, but we do what we can do to keep moving around. But this is for all you Hyundai Sonata owners with the 3.3 liter V6 engine from 06 to 2010. How to change a radiator. Here we are. 06 Hyundai Sonata Limited. Actually, it's 08 Hyundai Sonata. It's got the 3.3 liter V6. Okay, this is the limited edition 2-wheel drive, and we have a radiator leak. So first thing I had to do was remove the breather. The breather sat here. You can see these 3 screws right here. So they were just 3 push pin screws that look like that. You just unscrew them and take them out, and the push pins, they stay with it. And you see that little duct? The air cleaner goes right inside there and it lays down right there. So we got that out of the way, and we just lay it aside. Then the next thing, your radiator fan. It's this plug here, push in, pull out. Then you got these clips right here. Okay, now I hope this video shows it pretty much, but right here, let me see if I could zoom down there. On the radiator, there's tabs. You pull back, pull up. Same thing on the other side. Pull back, it's right there. Pull back and pull up. Those are only 2 tabs to hold at. Then there's a little silver plate that goes on top of the fan. You see that hole right there and right there? So it sits right there on top of that, and that holds that. It clips right on to here to hold the radiator in. So that's just 2 screws. And once you take that out, then you got 2 screws, one in back of the radiator here. Let me see if I can get that picture really well. Okay, right there, and then the other one is right there. 2 10mm bolts, and that comes out, and then you just pull the radiator out. And as you can see, right down the bottom there, it's leaking from the plastic right on the side there. Usually I'm used to them leaking around this area and around this area. So now what I'm going to do is that white petcock down there. You see the white petcock? I'm going to put a drain pan underneath that, and I'm going to let the fluid drain out of there. And then I may have to take this cover off, because I got to get this hose off and make sure this hose gets out of my way. Then we got the hose that's down there. And what I find the easier way to do it is, sometimes that hose can be a pain in the behind. So what I end up doing is taking this hose off and then pulling the radiator out and then putting it on the other hose. But I'm gonna go ahead and get my drain bucket and let this drain, and then we'll come back and show you what else we have to do to get this radiator out of here. All right. Whatever your method of choice, whether it's going to be a OME, a hose clamp remover, here's the end of it, catches the clamp, lock it on, stays on, you can pull it off. Different assortments of hose clamp pliers, needle nose pliers, 90-degree angle needle nose pliers, whatever you need to get these clips off of these hoses. So we got that clip there, either this clip here or the clip on the bottom. Then on the transmission line, you got a small clip here on the bottom, small clip here on the top. You drop those and drop those, and then you'll have that. And because of this radiator clip right here is in the way, I might want to just go ahead and take it loose from right there and pull the radiator out, like I said, that way. So it looks like we're pretty much done draining. So let me take this plug all the way out. Yeah, she's pretty much done draining. Okay, so I'm gonna show you here. These are the hold down connectors for the radiator, and behind it you have, let's see if I can view it. Here we go. Right up under here you have two 10mm bolts on each side, right down here, those bolts right there. So on this side, and same thing on this side. That's the radiator hold down clamp. So you want to take a 10mm wrench and get those loose. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I got my hose clamp remover on it, and it clamps in, and then you just grab the hose and wiggle it out. And I had a pan up underneath there because I heard a little bit of gargling, so it caught the antifreeze. So now we just go ahead and loosen that clamp by doing it like that, and then we can just take this right off of there. You got to get one of these hose clamps remover. It'll save yourself a lot of time and a lot of trouble. So now we got the top for the transmission cooler, this one, and then the bottom one, and slide those two back. So we used our straight needle nose pliers to move the transmission lines back, and let's see if that'll wiggle off of there. If not, then we want to take and get one of our hose remover, little hose removers here, and we want to grip it on there, and we just want to turn it to break the seal. And once the seal breaks, we should be able to pull it back. There. Yeah, I heard it break. Now I should be able to remove the tool, and I should be able to slide this line back. In theory. Well, it's hard to do it with one hand, but it's broke free, and I can see it moving, so I'm gonna have to use two hands here. Okay, I removed the two 10mm bolts from the radiator hold down clamp, and you just spin it and pull it out. So you know where they are. Let's go ahead and do one over here. Put it up underneath that hose, and we're back in here. That's one of them right there, and that's the other one right there. That's where they're located. Now with those out, you can pull the radiator forward. We have the overflow tube. You got to unclip that one there, unclip that one right there to get that out of the way. And then right here we got a 10 millimeter bolt right there, and we have a 10 millimeter bolt. Let's see, do we have one on this side? Yes, right down in there there's a 10 millimeter bolt, and I don't think they have it on the bottom. I think on the bottom is just little clamps that it would go into. And for video reference, right here, here's the bolt, 10 millimeter bolt that holds the condenser bracket on top, and on the bottom is just a bracket it sits into. Okay, we got one on either side to take loose. Okay, where my hand is, and you can see there, this is where the other bolt is that's holding the condenser on, and we want to get that one out of there as well. Sorry, my hand is in it, but there you can see the right there. So nothing too hard. Once you get those two 10 millimeter bolts out that are on either side, you want to pull up on each side from here, from this side, and you pull straight up, and the condenser pops right out, and then the radiator should come right out of here. Let's pour that rest of that fluid out that's in there. But anyway, the radiator should basically be free and clear, and yeah, get around some wires and lifts right out. So now what I want to do is bring my bucket, and we're going to spin it and let wet fluid out of there come on out of there. Okay, pretty straightforward job. So let's look and see where the failure was. She was leaking down here. All along down the back side here. This is plastic, so you can see where it's really wet right inside there, and right in here. This is where the condenser was on the back side of here. Now if you noticed on the bottom, my rubber grommets didn't come out with me. Okay, so they should still be down here in the engine. And yes, you can see them. There's one right there, and there's one right there. So you just always want to make sure those grommets they came out with the radiator, or they were there. So let's inspect around here. The condenser looks fine, and that definitely is antifreeze. All right, so I'm gonna unbox this. I'm gonna unbox the new radiator, set it up against the old one to make sure everything matches up. Okay, so if we look, we have a straight angle. Here's where the radiator support cord goes. This will hold the condenser in right there. The condenser clips in right here, right there. There's the radiator where the cap would go. Here's where the hose would go. Radiator where the cap would go, where the hose would go. Then we have our upper and lower coolant lines, and upper, lower coolant lines. And if you see that bottom one, it's on like a 45-degree angle. That one is on a 45-degree angle. We have our petcock, and we have our where it goes down into the rubber support. Now if you pick it up, on the condenser side, you'll see where the condenser would click in to right there, and the other one, it will click in to right there. And then you see the two holes, one there and one there, where the 10mm bolts go in to hold the condenser. And then those are the two top clips right there that holds the coolant overflow. So I would say this is a pretty good match. Let's just tighten up that petcock, make sure that's real tight, and that's tight. Now any chance I get, I always take these off and transfer them to the old one so I don't get any leaks. And then when I go to take this to a salvage yard, it won't be leaking. This is mine that I put on here to stop that. They got cotton on here, so we can just transfer the cotton over to the cotton. Oh, and they got a little yellow one on here, so I'll put that on here as well. And like I said, when I go to trash this, I will bring it back with me. They got one on the bottom here. Boy, that's on there pretty tight too. Alrighty, so we're in business to put this new radiator in. So we'll be right back. So let's just get you familiar with some of the other parts. This is your upstream O2 sensor. So it would be before the cat. Here's your cat right here. There's your downstream O2 sensor right there. So that's what they mean between upstream, before the cat. This controls your idle air fuel mixture also. So this is bad. The upstream one, this could cause your car to run a little rough, idle rough, and poor gas mileage. This is the one that affects it. This is the downstream one that just monitors the harmful carbons that comes through here and go out to the tailpipe. That doesn't affect it as much, but it will cause the check engine light to come on. So those are bank 1 and bank 2. Now here are your coils right here. 1, 2, 3. It's a 10mm bolt. Unclick it, pull it out, and your spark plug would be up underneath that. And it seems like this plug is loose. Yep, that bolt is loose. I'm glad I checked that. I didn't even do that. That's why this car might have kind of shake in it, because this is not tightened down all the way. So we're going to tighten that with a 10mm bolt. Right here would be your camshaft position sensor on this particular model. So that's to give you a general idea of what you're looking at under the hood. So I took some shop towels, dried up down there, so when I put the new radiator in and fill it with rate coolant, that I won't have to worry about, oh, is it still leaking? There's some fluid there. So I dry it up. So let's set the new one in place. Okay, so we got the clips in for the condenser, and we're going to push down. I should hear a click. That one went in. Now let's do this one. You heard the click. She's in place. So now we're going to take the two 10mm bolts and put those in here and here, and that's going to lock that in place. Okay, so we got the condenser slid in place on the hooks down there. You heard when it went clunk. That means they're in the clips. Now you see right here, let's see, right here, right there are my 10mm bolts that I tightened up. to tighten up the condenser. There's one on each side, and the other one is right there where my hand is, and that one is tightened up. So now what I'm going to commence to do is put the support brackets on and throw this back over across here where it belongs, and we'll be in good shape. That's something. I don't see these two clips. Let me pull back further and let me see if I see them. Okay, they're there. So we're gonna put those back on here. And all that does is you just run it around here like this. And you wanna just push it in place till you hear it click. All right, we get them in place, and then you want to take and let me take this little line out of here because it was leaking, and we put our overflow drain back inside. So we'll get our support bars and put those back on. So we're tightening the support brackets back up. Now we're going to go to the passenger side one, and we're going to tighten those support ones up. I do a little on each side. Okay, now I'm gonna just get that a little snug with my regular wrench. Okay, so the next step was getting those transmission cooler lines on, and we got the clips right in place and they're nice and tight. So now what we're going to do, we're going to get this bottom hose on. I'm going to put my radiator clamp hose on to it and get that bottom one clamped in. So I use my OME hose clamp tool. We got that bottom clamp back in place, relatively no problems. Now I'm gonna give you guys an easy tip when taking out and putting in the fan shroud for the radiator, the fan shroud with the blades. A lot of times people will they'll have this hose on and try to take the radiator out with that hose on. This hose is in the way, and 9 times out of 10 I've seen a lot of professionals do it. That hose is empty because they drain the coolant. Just take this hose off and it'd be much easier putting the radiator fan shroud back in, because the radiator shroud, it goes into these clips right here, there and there. They clip right in place, and then these 2 bolts right here, here and here, is going to hold those on. So let me get the radiator fan shroud. Okay, and we turn it the right direction. Now watch how easy this drops in without that hose there. Without that hose there, you could it just falls right in place, and you push it until it clicks. And that's all to it. With that hose in place, it would have been harder to get that radiator fan shroud in there. And once you get it in place, what you want to do is push down and you'll hear a click. Heard that click? Now she's in place. Now I'm going to take my 2 10mm bolts, one here and one here, that goes for the radiator. Let's see if I can find them. Here they go right here. And it just screws into the back of here. We got that one hand started. Now we get the other one. And we get this one hand started. And then all we got to do is just tighten them up. So you get the idea. Okay, so the radiator fan shroud is in place. So here's the radiator, the shroud electrical cord. You heard that click. Now she's clicked in place. So now all we have to do, set this hose in here, get my hose clamps, click that onto there and get that hose on. And then we're just going to double check everything, make sure we have all our hoses and lines clamped up or hooked in place before we put the antifreeze in. Now we have this little shield that goes over here. How did that go? There we go. I gotta take that screw out. Goes in between that screw. So we got it behind that screw, and we'll tighten it up. That's just something to hold the shroud to the radiator part right there. Nothing special. So we got that tight. Now we get our screwdriver and we tighten these back down here. And just for your information, FYI, if you have a Honda Accent, no, the Honda Elantra, this same steps to take your radiator off is the same for the Honda Elantra. I mean, there's very few differences. The radiator clips are different. You wouldn't have the 10mm bolt that goes in here to hold the radiator to the top. The shroud, you have two clips, one up top, one on the bottom, one up top, one on the bottom, and you got to loosen those clips to get them out, and they're attached to the radiator. So don't be afraid if you break these here. If you need to break these tabs to get them off, do it. If you need to break that tab to get it off, break it. It doesn't matter, because this radiator comes with new tabs. So you would not only have this one, you would have up here. So let me turn it right for you. So you would have one up here and one down there that the shroud would have to come out of. You wouldn't have a bolt there. You have another one of those clips. You can break those tangs and take them off, because they come with new tangs on the radiator. So that's just for your information. Little FYI there, and also FYI for this hose here. Take this hose off and you have a lot more ease getting this radiator in and out. So now we're going to put the breather back on. And match up the holes where they go, and then just put the screws that we had for them. We'll just start with the middle one right there and get that screwed in, and that's how you get that on. So we'll be right back and top this baby off with some fluid. FYI, we did tighten up this coil bolt, so we ain't got to worry about that. Well, job is done. Everything's connected. Fill this up. Y'all know how I do. With the engine off, I fill it all the way up. Cut the engine on. Let it run for a while. Let it burp. Cut it off. Fill it back up. Let it run for a while. Make sure you turn the heat on. You got heat. You're good to go. check for leaks. There's no leaks at any other holes. And it's not leaking from where it was leaking at down here before. So, pretty straightforward and easy job to do. And like I said, also, for your Hyundai Elantras from 2006 to 2010. Same procedure with the radio. All right, Mustang Fanatic Mechanic Edition.
Oh, is that thing upside down? Oh shit, hold on. Oh jeez.
Little Memorial Day fireworks.
Wait, hey, what's that? What's that?
That was Gino.